Hey guys, it's Andrea. Ooh la la, it's Paris Day. We're going to do the Eiffel Tower. I'm going to teach you about an artist named Seurat, and we're going to be doing his style of art, but we're going to use our hands. So we're going to, instead of a paintbrush today, we're going to be using our fingers to paint. My favorite, finger painting. So get excited, get something to clean your hands with, and let's get started. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a piece of white paper. I'm using a half sheet, because this project could be a little bit tedious. It takes a good amount of time, so the bigger sheet you use, the longer it's going to take, but you might want to come back to it another day. You're going to need a pencil. We're just going to real quick, I'm going to show you the easiest way to draw the Eiffel Tower. Your friends and parents are going to be mind blown that you just did the Eiffel Tower. And then you need basically some acrylic paint, every color of the rainbow. We want this to be bright and beautiful, and with this style that I'm going to show you, we layer a lot of different colors. So what I poured, I have some red, I have some orange, I have some yellow, I have some green, and I have some blue. So get all the colors of the rainbow on your palette or on your plate. Get yourself a wet paper towel so you can wipe your finger off when you're ready. And we're going to start drawing, so get your pencils ready. Alright, so I'm going to show you the easiest way that you can possibly draw the Eiffel Tower. If you know how to draw letters, you can draw the Eiffel Tower. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to put in our horizon line. Our horizon line is the line where our land is from our sky. So the bottom part is the land, this is the sky up here. That's the easy one. Okay, now when we draw the Eiffel Tower, I want you to draw lightly in case you need to erase, because we don't want to see our pencil marks too much. So we're going to do the letter A, but we're going to make it look kind of pretty. So you're going to start pretty far over on your edges with the legs of the A. It's going to come up to a point, and it's going to come back down to the leg. Okay, now we have to put the center of the A on, and we're going to extend it out just a little bit. And then we're also going to put one extra line for our A up at the top. Okay, you just basically drew the Eiffel Tower. This would get filled in a little bit. We can thicken up these legs. You don't have to draw this. We're going to fill this in. This would get made a little bit thicker. There you go. We have the Eiffel Tower. Ooh la la, you did it. Alright, so now for the fun part. Alright, so in the 1800s, there was an artist named Georges Seurat, and he was from France. And he was an impressionist painter. So they were some of the first painters that made it okay for things not to look like anything. So instead of back farther than the 1800s, if you were an artist, your art had to look exactly like a photo. But when it came to impressionist painting, these guys decided, why does art need to look like a photo? I can look at a photo, even though they didn't have photos then, but now. So they started being a little bit more abstract with their art. They started using different brush strokes and using colors that weren't really considered to be the color that it should be. And that's when the idea of art kind of changed. That was the first time it changed. So Seurat, this artist, he started a type of art called pointillism. And basically, he did entire paintings with little teeny dots. So many little teeny dots that if you look from far away, it looks like it's not dots. It looks like it's an actual painting. So we're going to do what's called pointillism, but we're going to use our pinky finger, and we're just going to do a bunch of dots all over our paper to make it look like the Eiffel Tower. Let me get you closer here. All right, so what I'm going to start with first is I'm going to start with my warm colors. I'm going to do the Eiffel Tower in my warm colors, red, orange, yellow. Okay? So with my pinky, I'm going to start with a red, and I'm basically just going to start at the bottom of my Eiffel Tower, and I'm going to fill in little teeny red dots. Keep them really close to each other, but not overlapping. There's a little teeny space in between. But you're going to fill up basically this entire piece of paper with your fingerprints. You can see the lighter you press, try pressing different texture pressures, because the lighter you press your finger, the skinnier or the little dot you get. The harder you press with your finger, you're going to get a bigger dot. So at the very, very top of the Eiffel Tower, we need it to get skinny. So press a little bit lighter when you get up there. All right, so after the red, we're going to go to orange. Wipe off your finger. And we're going to put this orange right on the inside, so the inside of our red. So near, right on top of the line that you drew, the orange is going to go on the inside of the red. Not right on top of it, but they are touching. I'll show you right now. Let me get up the top. Okay, so you can see my orange is on the inside of my red. And I'm going to do that. And when I went up on the top, I did like every other one, or I did a little on top of the red. And then when you get to the platforms, which are the center of the A, you're going to do the bottom. The bottom of your platform is going to have the orange. Have any of you guys ever been lucky enough to get to go to Paris or France or see the Eiffel Tower? I've been able to go a couple times. I've been lucky enough, especially since I study art, I got to go to Europe a couple times. I actually lived there for a little bit, studied abroad, and I got to go to the top of the Eiffel Tower by myself, with my friends. I got to go with my dad. So I was really lucky, and I've had that experience. But these little platforms are the places that you can go up and stand on, and then you overlook all of Paris, which is kind of cool. Okay, after your orange, we're going to go to yellow, and the yellow is going to go on the outside, because at night, the Eiffel Tower, every hour, it starts to sparkle. So it has lights on it, like little teeny Christmas lights all over it, and at night, on the hour, you can see it from all over Paris sparkling, and it's actually pretty magical. So I hope one day you get there to experience that. Right now we can't travel too much safely. Okay, on the platforms, or the things you stand on, we're going to put our yellow on top of our red. It's kind of like the highlight, like the Eiffel Tower is glittering. All right, so if you're still doing your fingerprints, keep going. If not, just pause the video. Now what we're going to do at the bottom of our Eiffel Tower is we're going to do like a flower field. It's going to look like flowers. So since we already have our warm colors on our finger, remember you don't really mix warm colors and cool colors. We're going to do all different colors of flowers down at the bottom. You can decide, do you want to do them all over randomly? Do you want to do them in rows? I'm going to do mine all over randomly. So I'm just taking this kind of fun. Be free with it. Don't think about it too much. Just start filling up this bottom part underneath your horizon line. I'm starting with the red, then I'm going to go to orange, and I'm going to go to yellow. I'm going quick. I'm not thinking about it too much. It's like an illusion. It's a very abstract type of art. Okay, after red, I go to orange. And I'm going to start kind of filling gaps. So any place where I see some white popping through, I'm going to get a little orange flower in there. And then lastly, after orange, I'm going to go to, you got it, yellow. And you see I didn't even wipe off my finger in between, because I know I'm not going to do as much yellow, and I only have a few more gaps to fill. And I can always go, I'm going to go back later with a couple of the other colors I have, especially some green, so you can see like the leaves or grass underneath this. We'll put a little bit of green on there. Let's actually do green next, since we have yellow on our finger. Yellow and green, if you mix them. If you have red or orange in your finger, go ahead and wash it. Then we're going to go on to some green. We're going to let this bottom part dry a little bit before we get our green down there because we don't want it to turn to a mud color. So we're going to get our green on our finger and we're going to start putting some of this green up in our sky. Now, is the sky green? No, it's not. So we're not going to do too much green. Maybe about 20 to 25 dots all over your paper. Not too much. We just kind of want to pull in the color from the sky into our ground. Make sure you go inside the Eiffel Tower. Get a couple green spots. And if you're a little and you have little pinkies, you can always be using a pointer finger too if you feel like your pinkies are too little and they're failing you. You can use a bigger finger. Then I'm going to take a little bit of green and I'm going to try to find just a few spots down in my ground. Any place where there's a white spot, I really want to try to avoid putting the green on top of red. Green and red are complementary colors, so they look nice next to each other, but if you mix those two colors together, you get brown. A lot of people think if I mix all the colors together, I'm going to get brown, but that's actually not. It usually turns black. But red and green, mixing them together, anytime there's complementary colors, and we'll talk about that in another lesson, but you know how to make brown. And there's different ways to make different types of brown. Okay, so once you get some green down into your ground, we're going to go on to blue. And we're going to fill way more blue in our sky than we did the green. We want to start taking up space. And you can decide, you guys, is this a nighttime picture or is this a daytime picture? You can always use a lighter color blue, or you can dip your finger in white. And then blue to make it a little bit lighter. Mine's going to be nighttime because I talked about at night how it sparkles and we have our yellow lights on there, so mine's nighttime. Something you can add later if you want to come back to it is you can go back with some white. Once this is all dry, you really want it to be dry before you do this or else it won't work. But once it's dry, you can go back with some white even and put some stars in the sky. You could on top of it draw yourself a moon. Okay, so one thing that's kind of important is right up next to where your Eiffel Tower is, you want to kind of get as many blue dots as you can because you don't want to see too much gap between your sky and your Eiffel Tower because you want your Eiffel Tower to pop. You want to be able to see what it is that you have on your paper here. So get a good amount of blue dots right up next to the Eiffel Tower. Should kind of be solid. And I'll show you what I mean by that. You can see how I went right up next to my Eiffel Tower and I made sure to fill a bunch of dots so I could see my Eiffel Tower better. Okay, and I'm just going to keep going. You keep going. Keep filling up this sky, and I can't wait to see your pictures when you're done. Send me your pictures and I'll put them in the gallery. Bye guys, have a great night.